6 months after spending $25,000 on a brand new commercial zero-turn, one hydraulic pump failed, and one sentence buried inside a warranty booklet turned what should have been a covered repair into a bill worth several $1,000s. Not because the owner abused the machine, not because the pump wasn't defective, because of a condition hidden in a document almost nobody reads. That's where this story begins. Most people think they buy a mower. They don't. They buy a machine and a contract. The machine sits on your trailer. The contract sits in a drawer. Guess which one decides who pays when something goes wrong? Every year, commercial operators lose warranty claims on machines that were properly maintained. Not because the warranty failed them, but because they never understood what they'd agreed to. And the worst part? Most of those mistakes are completely avoidable. In the next few minutes, I'll show you how the biggest commercial mower manufacturers structure their warranties, why perfectly honest owners still lose claims, which clauses cause the most confusion, and a federal law many owners don't even know exists that may protect them. But first, you need to understand the smallest part on the mower, because that tiny part can decide the outcome of an entire warranty claim. The first trap. Most owners expect expensive parts to cause expensive problems. The engine, the transmission, the hydraulic pump. Ironically, that's usually not where the first warranty dispute begins. It starts with something most buyers never think twice about, a wear item. Picture this. It's the middle of July. You've already finished 10 properties before lunch. The mowers run perfectly all season. Then you notice a small amount of hydraulic oil near one of the hoses. Nothing dramatic, so you finish the day. A week later, that tiny leak becomes a hose failure. The hydraulic system loses pressure, contamination gets in, and soon the pump starts making noise. Now you're looking at one of the most expensive repairs on the mower, and the question isn't just, why did the pump fail? It's, what caused the pump to fail? That single difference can change everything. The wear item trap. Every commercial mower manufacturer excludes certain wear items from warranty coverage. That seems reasonable on its face. Nobody expects free blades, belts, or tires forever. The real issue isn't that wear items exist. It's who decides what belongs on that list. And in many warranty documents, that list is broader than buyers expect. Take Scag as one example. Some of its commercial warranty documents classify hydraulic hoses as wear items, with limited coverage compared to major hydraulic components. That means a part many operators consider part of the hydraulic system may get far less protection than the pump it's connected to. And most buyers don't notice until something breaks. If that failed hose damages the pump, you're no longer discussing one broken part. You're discussing a chain reaction. The manufacturer may agree the pump itself is normally covered, but they may also investigate whether the failure began with a component treated differently under the warranty. A straightforward repair becomes a warranty investigation, and investigations don't always end the way owners expect. That's why one definition buried in that booklet can be worth thousands of dollars. But here's what surprised me most, researching this. The wear item trap isn't even the biggest reason people lose claims. Not even close. The next trap catches owners who do everything right. Change the oil, use the correct fluid, follow the schedule, genuinely take care of their equipment, and still walk away with a denied claim. How is that possible? You'd think the fix is simple. Maintain the machine properly. And you'd be right, mostly. Because there's another problem, and it has nothing to do with how you maintain your mower, and everything to do with whether you can prove it. The maintenance trap. Imagine you're the ideal customer. You change the oil on time, replace filters before they're due, grease every fitting, check fluids every morning. One Saturday, you service the hydraulic system yourself. Correct fluid, correct viscosity, quality filter, done carefully. Everything runs perfectly all season. Then, hundreds of hours later, the pump suddenly fails. You're not worried. You know you took care of it. You load it up, drive to the dealer, expect a routine warranty process. The technician inspects it, everything looks normal. Then the manufacturer asks one question. Can you provide your maintenance records? Not your memory, not your word, documentation. The dealer checks their service history. Nothing. No invoice, no record of that hydraulic service. From the manufacturer's side, there's no evidence the maintenance ever happened. And just like that, the conversation changes. Now imagine two owners who bought the same mower, serviced it the same day, with the same fluid and filter, following the schedule perfectly. One kept every receipt, logged every service, photographed the work. The other did everything correctly, but documented nothing. Both later suffered the identical failure. One has evidence, one has a memory. Which position would you rather be in? Why documentation matters. This doesn't mean your warranty is automatically void if you service your own machine. Far from it. Most manufacturers aren't looking for excuses to reject honest claims. They're trying to determine whether the required maintenance actually happened. Without records, that's much harder to prove months or years later. That's why experienced owners don't just maintain their machines. They document the maintenance. Paperwork is often as valuable as a wrench. This gets even more important with extended warranty programs. Some of its extended hydraulic coverage programs require qualifying maintenance to be performed through an authorized dealer and recorded in the dealer's service system. So compare two owners again. One does excellent maintenance at home, the other has a dealer do the same service. The real difference isn't the quality of the work, it's that one service already exists inside the manufacturer's records, and the other depends entirely on the owner's ability to prove it happened. That's a very different position to be in when thousands of dollars are on the line. So does that mean the dealer has to touch every oil change and every service interval, or your warranty is worthless? That's exactly what many commercial operators believe, and it's one of the biggest misconceptions about equipment warranties. Because what people assume the warranty requires, and what the law actually allows, aren't always the same thing. The next part completely changed how I think about warranties. Buried inside federal law is a protection many equipment owners never realize exists. One sentence that can completely change the conversation between you, your dealer, and the manufacturer. The big reveal. Imagine you've done everything right. Changed the oil, serviced the hydraulics, kept every receipt, documented every interval, and you're still standing at the dealership hearing, your warranty is void because you serviced it yourself. Most owners stop right there, assuming that's the end. Sometimes it isn't. Most people believe that if a warranty booklet says maintenance must be performed by an authorized dealer, that's automatically enforceable. It sounds official and final. But that's not always how warranty law actually works. And understanding the difference can change how you approach a denied claim. The Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act. In the U.S., there's a federal law called the Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act, created to protect consumers from unfair warranty practices. One of its key principles is simple. A manufacturer generally can't deny warranty coverage solely because routine maintenance was performed somewhere other than an authorized dealer. Instead, they generally need to show that the maintenance itself, or the parts used, actually caused the failure being claimed. That's a completely different conversation, and one many owners never realize they can have. Picture two identical pump failures, both self-serviced. One owner says, "I always take care of my equipment." The other says, "Here's every receipt, every log, the fluid spec, the filter part number, photos from the day I did it." Which owner would you rather be? The law doesn't guarantee either claim gets approved, but documentation shifts the conversation from assumptions to evidence, and evidence is much harder to dismiss. This doesn't mean every denied claim is wrong, or that manufacturers are acting unfairly, or that you can ignore your owner's manual. Manufacturers absolutely can deny claims when improper maintenance, wrong fluids, wrong filters, or neglect actually cause the damage. That's exactly what warranties are designed to prevent. The distinction is this: a claim shouldn't be rejected simply because someone other than the dealer performed proper routine maintenance. That's a different standard, and knowing it helps you ask better questions, instead of accepting the first answer you're given. If you ever hear your warranty is denied because you serviced it yourself, instead of apologizing and loading the mower back on the trailer, try, "Can you help me understand exactly how my maintenance caused this specific failure?" You're no longer arguing. You're asking for evidence and an explanation. Either way, you leave with facts instead of assumptions. By now, you've learned about wear items, documentation, and your legal protections. So you should be safe, right? Not quite. There's one more area where claims get complicated, and it happens to involve the most expensive repairs on the machine: hydraulic drive systems, electronic controls, and the chain reactions that turn one failed part into a repair costing thousands. The drivetrain trap. The warranty says major hydraulic components are covered. Great. Problem solved. Except that's usually just the beginning of the story. Picture a mower with nearly 1,200 hours, no warning signs, that suddenly has slightly off steering. The next morning, a drive wheel hesitates, the pump starts whining, and within an hour, the machine barely moves. Now you're not dealing with one failed part. You're dealing with an entire system. The technician's first question isn't which part failed. It's where did the failure begin? Because that question often determines what's actually covered. Mechanical failures rarely happen alone. A hose leaks, contamination enters the system, reaches the pump, and the damaged pump sends debris through the whole hydraulic circuit. By the time the mower reaches the dealer, several parts may be damaged, and the investigation has to untangle which damage came from normal wear, which from contamination, and which from the original failure. That's why expensive claims often take far more investigation than owners expect. Modern mowers add another layer: electronic PTO systems, safety interlocks, diagnostic modules, sensors, and controllers. Every one of them creates a new place for disagreement. Was a sensor defective or damaged by moisture? Did the PTO fail from a manufacturing defect or because it struck something hidden in the grass? Those answers aren't always obvious, which is why modern warranty investigations often involve far more than swapping a part. The big lesson. After researching dozens of these warranties, one thing became clear. Manufacturers aren't automatically hunting for reasons to deny claims. They're trying to determine what actually happened. The outcome usually comes down to documentation, inspection findings, maintenance history, and the exact wording in the warranty. The smartest operators don't prepare for a warranty claim after something breaks. They prepare long before anything goes wrong. 4 things to do today. 1. Read the warranty before you need it. Not the brochure, not the salesperson's summary, the actual document. Pay attention to wear item definitions, maintenance intervals, fluid requirements, and coverage limitations. 2. Treat maintenance records like business records. Log every service, record machine hours, save receipts, photograph major work, keep filter and fluid details. 5 minutes of record keeping today can save hours of frustration later. 3. Understand your rights. If a claim is questioned, ask respectful, informed questions. Request explanations and documentation. This isn't about starting arguments. It's about having a conversation based on facts. 4. Get everything in writing. If a claim is denied, don't rely on a verbal explanation. Ask for the reason, the specific warranty provision, and the evidence behind the decision, in writing. Back to where we started. A brand new mower, a failed pump, a denied claim. At first it looks like bad luck, but now you can see it's usually more complicated than that. A warranty isn't just a promise to repair your machine. It's a document defining responsibilities. The manufacturer's, the dealer's, and yours. The owners who read the warranty before they need it, document their maintenance, keep receipts, and ask informed questions don't just improve their odds on a claim, they become better equipment owners. Over the life of a commercial mower, that knowledge is worth more than the warranty itself. One topic we deliberately left out: extended hydraulic coverage. Some manufacturers offer protection lasting thousands of operating hours beyond the standard warranty. But there's a catch. Many owners qualify without realizing it, and others unknowingly disqualify themselves before the original warranty even expires. Next video, I'll compare the biggest commercial mower brands side by side, who offers the best hydraulic coverage, what maintenance you actually need, which programs are worth your attention, and the costly mistakes that keep owners from getting that extra protection. If you're investing tens of thousands of dollars in commercial mowing equipment, that's a video you won't want to miss. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.